Hello and welcome back to Kim Reads as we continue with Maryellen taking off. Chapter 3, Showbiz. Every day after school, everyone in the show came over to Larkin's house to practice. At least they were supposed to be practicing, but really Wayne and Davy just ran around lassoing each other, chased by Tom and Mikey. The ballerinas, Beverly and Karen Stolman, couldn't agree on who'd do what in their ballet, and Karen King kept changing her mind about what songs she and Angela would sing. "Oh, I have the most wonderful idea," Karen King said to Angela the afternoon before the show was supposed to go on. "Let's sing, 'How much is that doggy in the window?' We can borrow poodle skirts from Ellie and Karen Stolman, and Scooter can be the dog in the window. Wouldn't that be cute?" Said Angela, "except I don't know the words to the song." "I do," said Karen King. "It goes like this. 'How much is that doggy in the window? Something, something, waggity tail. How much is that doggy in the window? La 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 la, doggies for sale.'" Anyway, sort of like that, Karen King went on breezily. "It'll be easy to learn the words." "By tomorrow?" asked Maryellen, trying not to sound shrill. "You're going to have to learn the something, something, and la la la's tomorrow, because that's when the show is. This is our last rehearsal." "We know," said Karen King with exaggeration calmness. "You don't have to get all huffy about it." "Also," said Maryellen, "good luck talking Scooter into having a waggity tail or doing anything you want him to do when you want him to do it." Davy had already given up on lassoing Scooter because Scooter would just lie there like a sack of potatoes. "Davy has to lasso me instead of Scooter." "Well, if you're going to be Scooter for Davy, you can be a dog in the window for Karen," said Angela. "You could tie Davy's rope around your waist and swing the end of the waggity tail." "Okay," said Maryellen tepidly. Her own part in the show was so small that she was filling anywhere that needed her. She was the boy ballerina because both Beverly and Karen wanted to wear tutus. And Tom and Mikey liked to move like the puppets, but they didn't know what to say. So Maryellen had to make up a story for them to match what the puppets were doing. When it was time to rehearse her own speech and song, she stood in front of the carport and began. "Fighting polio," she said. "Dr. Jonas Salk." "Hey, Ellie," Karen King interrupted. "Aren't you supposed to wear your bridesmaid dress when you make your speech? When do you have time to change out of your pants?" Maryellen pushed her hair off her sweaty forehead. "I'll figure something out." She didn't want to admit herself or to anyone else that the dress still wasn't finished. "Fighting polio," Maryellen began. She was surprised and gratified that everyone was watching for a change. They were even smiling. "Maybe I'll get better at it," she said. "Or maybe they're just finally beginning to appreciate the important things I'm saying." Then, out of the corner of her eye, Maryellen caught a movement. She whirled around and found Wayne right behind her. He was wearing toy eyeglasses upside down and made his hair stick out all over his head so that he looked like a mad scientist from a science fiction comic book. He helped himself to 2 test tubes from her chemistry set and was pouring water from the test tube into another as if he were Dr. Salt inventing the polio vaccine. With a sinking heart and a flash of indignation, Maryellen realized that Wayne had been behind her, hamming it up the whole time, pretending to be Jonas Salk and miming the actions, and she described Dr. Salk doing in her speech. As Maryellen watched, speechless, Wayne began shooting his squirt gun straight up in the air so the water flew up like a fountain as he sang, "Get a shot so you won't catch polio, oh." "Cut it out, Wayne," Maryellen ordered, but her voice was lost in the claps and cheers of the other kids. "Wayne, that was hilarious," said Karen Stolman. "You should do that in the show tomorrow." "Yes," said Karen King. "It's a riot. The audience will love it." "No!" exploded Maryellen. "I don't even want Wayne to come to the show, much less ruin my act." "Oh, come on, Ellie," coaxed Angela. "Wayne's funny." "It's my show and my act and my idea and my party and my birthday," Maryellen said fiercely. "So, I get to say if Wayne can be in it or not, and I say he cannot, and that's final." Everyone was stunned in silence. Even Wayne had nothing to say. An odd expression caught his face, and Maryellen realized she hurt Wayne's feelings. "Good," she thought. Now you see how it feels. Listen, Ellie, people aren't puppets, said Karen King. You just can't boss us around and make us do what you want us to do. All right then, said Maryellen. She was fed up. Do what you want, and I will do what I want. I quit. You can't, wailed Carolyn. It's your party. We can't do the show without you, said Davy. You should have thought of that before. Maryellen shrugged. It's too late now, and she flounced off into the house, slamming the door behind her. At dinner that evening, Carolyn and Beverly wouldn't look at Maryellen or speak to her. Tom and Mikey sneaked sideways glances at her if they were afraid she was still the fierce sourpuss she'd been that afternoon at rehearsal. Maryellen just toyed with her food. The minute dinner was over, she went outside. After a little while, Dad and Scooter came outside too. Hi, sport, Dad said. Want to help wash the car? Sure, said Maryellen. Dad handed her a bucket and a sponge, and she went to work washing the taillights. They were her favorite parts of the station wagon because they reminded her of giant eyes. Rather a chilly atmosphere at dinner tonight, said Dad as he untangled the hose. What's going on? I had a big fight with everyone at rehearsal today, Maryellen said, and I quit the show. Since my show, they can't do it without me, so the whole thing's off. Said Dad. That's too bad. I guess that means your party is off too. It's so unfair, said Maryellen indignantly. I'm getting cheated out of my party, and none of it's my fault. Wayne ruined everything. I wanted the show to say something serious and important about polio. He just made fun of it, she sighed. I guess it maybe is a silly idea anyway. I mean that my show could really do any good. Dad squirted the car with the hose for a minute or two, and he said, your show sort of reminds me of our bomb shelter. It does? Asked Maryellen. How? She knew that bomb shelters were places for people to go in case an atomic bomb fell. At school, there was no bomb shelter, so during air raid drills, the students knelt under their desks or crouched under in the hallways with their arms crossed over their heads. At home, Dad had made a bomb shelter in a dugout area underneath her house. Maryellen couldn't see how a bomb shelter was like her polio show at all. If an atomic bomb fell on Daytona Beach, it would wipe out everything here, said Dad. Our bomb shelter would probably be useless, but it's all I can do to protect us, so it's worth my effort. And your polio show is worth your effort, Ellie, because it's something that you can do. Something is always better than nothing. Trying is always better than giving up, right? So you think I shouldn't cancel our show, said Maryellen. Is that what you're saying? Not exactly, said Dad, wringing out his rag. I'm asking if the real reason of your canceling the show is that you think it won't do any good. Well, partly I'm canceling because it isn't all what I wanted it to be, said Maryellen. I wrote a script which no one appreciated one bit. They just wanted to show off dancing and singing and lassoing Scooter. And now my part of the show is nothing. Ah, your pride hurts, said Dad gently. Was the purpose of the show to give you a chance to be a big star? No, said Maryellen. Then she said slowly, well, I did sort of want people to think as someone who could make a difference in something important, so I guess I wanted to be a little bit famous. Is that bad? Not at all, said Dad. The purpose of the show was to raise money for the March of Dimes and to encourage people to be vaccinated, said Maryellen. I see, said Dad. That is a worthwhile purpose. He turned away, picked up the hose, and gave Scooter a hose shower bath, which Scooter loved. Maryellen sighed. In all the disagreements and excitement, she forgot that what was truly important was the reason for the show, to fight polio. I think it's too late to cancel the show now, she said. I pitched a big fit. Probably no one even wants to show with me anymore. Maybe, said Dad. You won't know unless you ask. Maryellen hesitated. Then she blurted out, it will be so humiliating. I'll have to call everyone and apologize and say that I'm canceling the cancellation and ask them to come tomorrow. Think you can do it? Said Dad, squirting the hose at her feet so she had to smile. I'll give it a try, she said. That's my girl, said Dad. You know what they say in showbiz, the show must go on. He smiled. Good luck. Maryellen took a deep breath. Here goes nothing. She walked inside as she had cement blocks on her feet instead of wet flip-flops, dreading apologizing to Caroline and Beverly. What would she say? But it turned out to be easy. As soon as Maryellen said that she was sorry Her sisters hugged her and said they were glad the show was not canceled. Tom and Mikey hadn't understood that the show was off in the first place, so they acted calmly to the news that the show was on. Next, Maryellen called Karen Stolman, who let out a piercing shriek of joy and forgave her immediately, and immediately insisted on calling Angela and Karen King and telling them the good news. Luckily, no one had taken down any of the posters, so that left only one more thing to do, one more person she had to tell. Actually, she thought, squaring her shoulders, 2 people. That's the end of that chapter. See you later.